Hey guys, it's Tricky Nick here. Super Mario Land was the first ever handheld 2D Mario game released for the Nintendo Game Boy in 1989. The game was a massive success, being the fourth best-selling game for the Game Boy. Nintendo knew they had to capitalize on this success, thus starting the development of Super Mario Land 2 6 Golden Coins. Super Mario Land 2 6 Golden Coins is a direct sequel to Super Mario Land, with the story taking place directly after the events of the first game. Whether it was because Shigeru Miyamoto was too lazy to take on this project or Gunpei Yokoi was eager to create more platformers, the bottom line was, the development of this game was once again handed to Yokoi and Nintendo's R&D 1 development team. This meant that Super Mario Land 2 is going to have many more unique elements just like its predecessor. But perhaps the most important and most creative of these new things put into the game was Bomb Mario. Just kidding, it's Wario. Wario was created for the sole purpose of being Mario's arch rival. Take Mario's name, flip the M, bada bing bada boom, you got yourself an antagonist. But of the hundreds of unique ideas seen in the game, it seems that Wario is the only one that escaped containment, spawning a plethora of franchises with him as the star. Hey!
Yeah.
Dang it! Hey, now that I think about it, how come this gun doesn't have any Since so much from Super Mario Land 2 6 Golden Coins was forgotten, I thought we would look back on yet another underrated Mario platformer. For starters, this game has been way more well optimized for the Game Boy. Mario's sprite alone jumped 3 whole generations. The fact that this and this are on the same console really makes you wonder if the first game was rushed. It was probably just because they weren't used to developing for a Game Boy yet, but either way, I'm thankful this game is so much more graphically enhanced. Unfortunately, the game was still unable to run color due to the console limitations, unless you play on the Game Boy Color. But then the colors are kind of off. So once again, Nintendo had to find ways to work around console limitations. And just like last time, they did a pretty good job. The story of Super Mario Land 2 kicks off directly after Mario saves Princess Daisy and returns to his home Mario Land. Yeah, apparently Mario lives on an island completely dedicated to him. Narcissist much? Anyway, when Mario returns home, his castle has been taken over by none other than his arch-rival Wario. Now, Mario has to platform his way through 6 zones, retrieving 1 golden coin from each. Oh! To help us get through all these levels, we have some fun power-ups to assist us in avoiding death. We have the return of the Fire Flower after its short hiatus in Super Mario Land. Yay, arson! Along with that, we have a new power-up called the Carrot. Legend has it, if you spam the B button hard enough, you can hover. Yeah, this power-up is really broken. You basically can just float over levels with it. If you like Super Mario Land's unique charm, well, here's more of it. The zones seen in this game are overall pretty well designed and really unique. We have the Tree Zone, an insect-infested tree that is guarded by Big Bird. No, not that one, this one! Next up is the Space Zone. Yeah, that's right, this is Mario Galaxy before Mario Galaxy. Here, we fight Tatanga, the final boss of the original Super Mario Land. I really like that they referenced the original Super Mario Land, but it does make me wonder if they were just being lazy or couldn't think of a good idea for a boss. How hard would it be to put Neil Armstrong as the boss, Nintendo? Then we have the Macro Zone, which requires Mario to shrink down to access it. I guess you could call this the origin of the Mini Mushroom, but despite appearing smaller on the minimap, Mario is actually not affected during gameplay. This zone is defended by a sewer rat. This fight is pretty interesting because it very closely resembles Iggy's fight in New Super Mario Bros. U. Then we have my favorite zone, the Pumpkin Zone. Oh yeah, baby! This zone contains levels all based on my favorite holiday, Halloween. We have multiple references to some classic horror movies, which is really cool. The final boss here is a witch, and I pissed myself before I could beat her. We then make our way to the Mario Zone. Mario, you narcissist! Along with a level referencing Nintendo's failed version of the Lego, this zone is also guarded by the 3 little pigs. This is just really bizarre. Why didn't they have like Robo Mario or even like Bowser here as the boss? Having the 3 little pigs as the boss of the Mario Zone would be like Nabbit being the main character of New Super Luigi U. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, after that, a turtle eats us alive and we enter the Turtle Zone. What? Is that a Is that a whale? How did you freaking eat a whale? This is the underwater section of the game, and we fight Paco the octopus at the end. After Mario's made his way through all these zones and gathered up the 6 golden coins, we get back to Mario's castle. Here, we have a final battle with Wario where he utilizes all the power-ups we saw throughout the game to try to take us out. Once we inevitably take him down, Mario kicks him out and reclaims his castle. Now it's time to criticize. I have a few issues with the layout of this game. While I love that we can pick anywhere to start this game, it really messes with the difficulty in the game. Since the first level of every zone has the potential to be the first level you play, they're all really easy. While the difficulty does ramp up farther into the zone, this issue makes a good chunk of levels way too easy. That being said, this game has way more levels than its predecessor. Including secret levels, this game has 30 total levels. This presents us with another problem though. When we game over, we start over fully. That means if you get to the very final battle with Wario and game over, there's no checkpoint to save your place. That means you have to play all 30 levels again. No! While at first this seems like a big problem, I gotta say, I really love every single level. There's an abundance of new enemies and areas. Along with that, every single asset in each level has a purpose and tells a story. The levels themselves make sense together as well. For instance, the tree zone's first level is at the bottom of a tree, and we work our way up the tree in the next few levels until we reach the top and fight Big Bird in his nest. This once again further immerses me and makes me feel a deeper connection with the game, like with Super Mario Land. The soundtrack accompanying the levels are also pretty well done for being on a Game Boy. The music is always very fitting for whatever area you find yourself in. Sure, it's limited, but it still sounds really nice. Overall, Super Mario Land 2 is an advanced and expanded version of Super Mario Land. The game features new ideas, better graphics, and almost 3 times as many levels. In fact, Super Mario Land 2 6 Golden Coins was so good it would go on to sell over 11 million copies. Unfortunately, that's 7 million less than Super Mario Land. That means that 7 million people are completely unaware that there was a far better sequel out there. So instead of remembering handheld Mario fondly, they look back and remember this mess of pixels. Fortunately, Super Mario Land 2 brought upon us a whole new franchise. Remember how Wario was Mario's arch rival in this game? Well, after Wario's crushing defeat, he decides he wants to get a castle of his own, thus spawning the Wario Land franchise, which would go on to dominate the 2D platforming genre for the next decade. But that story's for another day. For the time being, I wanted to give you guys an update on the Mind Eraser. I lost it.